We wanted to see if you had the ability to expand your mind and your horizons. That is the exploration that awaits you, charting the unknown possibilities of existence.
The next decade could change what it means to be human, not just smarter tech, but smarter people, and connected brains. Direct thought-to-thought communications, maybe even merging the mind and the machine. But really, how close are we? And Ray Kurzweil, Mary Lou Jepsen, Brian Johnson, and even DARPA are chasing this same future, even through radically different technologies. And this isn't science fiction anymore. Let's explore what top scientists, futurists, and brain tech pioneers say about how and when we'll connect our minds with machines. But what's coming next is much bigger. Thought-to-thought communication, memory enhancement, cloud-connected cognition, and maybe one day, consciousness uploading. Musk predicts that by 2025 to 2030, we could see early versions of brain-to-brain communication, non-verbal, high-bandwidth thought transfer. He calls it symbiosis between humans and AI, and its FDA-approved human rights trials began in 2023. But even Musk admits, scaling this for healthy people is still years away. Famed futurist Ray Kurzweil sees it a little differently. He predicts by the early 2030s we'll interface directly with the cloud.
We will connect wirelessly our neocortex to the cloud. And that expansion will not be a one-shot deal. The cloud is twice as powerful every year. And when we can connect and expand our neocortex in the cloud, it will expand without limit.
Kurzweil believes nanobots in the brain will let us access memory, language, and intelligence stored online, as if it was part of our own minds. And by 2045, he calls it the singularity, human and machine intelligence fully emerged. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. Subscribe for more deep dives into the future of intelligence, AI, and humanity. Dr. Thomas Oxley's company is already implanting a stent shroud, a brain interface delivery via blood vessels. A patient with ALS used it to send emails with his thoughts. Oxley predicts full FDA approval by 2030.
What is this going to mean for humanity? What's really got me thinking is the future of communication. Have you ever considered how hard it is to express how you feel? So what if rather than using your words, you could throw your emotion just for a few seconds and have them really feel how you feel? At that moment, we would have realized that the necessary use of words to express our current state of being was always going to fall short. The full potential of the brain would then be unlocked.
Brian Johnson from Kernel wants a brain helmet in every household. His tech uses sensors to track brain activity and optimize memory, sleeping, and learning. His goal? Affordable neurotech by 2030.
And so to me, the most significant contribution that Kernel technology has to offer, formal engineering of cognition as it relates to everything else in society. If we add brain interfaces to the equation, let's imagine now we amplify the dimensionality of our communications. The interface could then quantify and give me a 50 vector space model and say, this is the version of happiness that Lex is experiencing. It would allow me potentially to have much greater empathy for you and understand you as a human of this is how you experience joy.
Openwater's Mary Lou Jepsen is developing a wearable fMRI-like ski hat to read thoughts with light, no surgery. And she said in 2017 it could be real by 2027.
I believe using the tools of our time, telepathy is in reach. What would happen if we could share the joy, the emotion, the vulnerability, and so forth? And it's really inevitable because of what's happened in the trillion-dollar manufacturing infrastructure, machine learning, and big data. I think it's inevitable. I showed you in the beginning, throwing graduate students into those machines, we could read their dreams, the images in their head, the words they were thinking of, and so forth. So we can do that literally with camera chips, a laser, and ultrasonic pings in the form of a wearable.
Scientists, futurists, and entrepreneurs, they're not the only ones getting into the race. The US government's also racing ahead. DARPA's In3 program is building neurosurgical BCIs for soldiers.
The project started because the government was interested in developing better ways for us to connect to the brain. Can we come up with a hat that would allow us to capture signals from the brain and stimulate the brain as though we were sitting in front of a monitor? This would be an alternative to your display. And so the idea is that we would have some kind of a helmet that would be able to stimulate your brain in such a way that you would be able to see as though you had a display in front of you, a heads-up display, so to speak.
So what's holding us all back? Well, there's a lot. We're talking surgery risks. Most of the implants today require cutting into the skull. There's potential for brain damage, electrodes degrade, tissue scars, devices fail after a few years. And bandwidth. We can't even really read thoughts with the precision or speed of speech. The biggest one? Well, we don't fully understand how thoughts are even encoded in the brain. As one neuroscientist put it, we want to enhance intellect, but we don't even know what intellect is. For this vision to succeed, we need advances in neuroscience, sensor design, data processing, and let's not leave out ethics and regulation. The 2030s may be the decade when BCIs move out of the lab and into our homes. First the paralyzed, then the curious. By the 2040s, the line between mind and machine can blur, but it's not guaranteed. Will our society accept these tools? And who controls our thoughts? And what happens when your brain is online and hackable? Man, we're building the future of cognition, and we're doing it fast.